What's up YouTube? Welcome to my Masteries guide. First of all, I want to know that you only need 6 mastery pages, so basically that's 18, 12, 0, etc, etc, like you see here. This is all you need, and then you just adjust them before a game starts, so this is all the mastery pages you'll ever need. The rest are there just for particular champions. So, we have Ferocity tree for offense, we have the Cunning for damage and utility, and we have Resolve for tanks and utility. You must know that the higher you get through your mastery tree, the more impactful the mastery is. So obviously the last mastery is the most impactful one, and that's why you want to go 18 in one tree and 12 in another. We'll start from Ferocity. It's quite simple here. If you need more attack speed, you get this. If you want to deal more damage with your abilities, you take this one. The second line we have dealing extra damage, restoring 20 health with a 30-second cooldown. I usually do not take this mastery because I find it quite useless. And Expose the Weak is a really good mastery for support champions or tanky champions that rely on teammates to deal damage. Then we have Spell Vamp and Lifesteal. This is a really good one. Unless you're going for full damage, then you may want to take this mastery. Next up, Bounty Hunter. This is my favorite one, if you know you will manage to kill every champion in the game. This mastery is good for assassins and all-in champions, because you will be squishy anyways, but you can deal 3% increased damage from level 1. Then this mastery is good for supports, or if you have burst and your fight is not going to last very long. Next line is quite easy. You take armor penetration if you do physical damage mostly, and you take magic penetration if you do magic damage mostly. And then we have our key masteries, the most important ones. Bloodlust for sustain. Many people take this mastery on Graves because he already deals tons of damage and he has a reload on his auto attacks, so he doesn't need any other mastery from this tree, just the Bloodlust for the extra healing. Fervor of Battle is really good for auto attack oriented champions, for example Caitlyn, Jinx, Xin Zhao, Warwick, etc. Since for example Warwick has a built-in healing ability, so he doesn't need Bloodlust, you may want to take Fervor of Battle on him. And then we have the Fire Touch. You take this ability if you have some sort of poke in your kit and can't burst down your enemy. So basically Jhin players take this, Zeref can take this, and other champions. Then we have Cunning, offensive utility tree. The first mastery I usually take extra movement speed, because dealing extra damage to minions and monsters you should take only if you have problem with farming. Then we have Runic Affinity, buffs last longer. This is only good on junglers. The Cookie Mastery, how I call it, is like somewhat useful. I usually do not take it because I opt for Assassin Mastery, deal increased damage when no ally champions are nearby. Next lineup, this is my most often choice. Deal more damage if champions are below 40% health. This mastery I use mostly on supports or tanks. Next lineup, we have this mastery, deal increased damage from stepping into the bush. It is quite okay. Then we have Bandit. Most of the time it is used on support champions, but can also be used in lane to get some extra gold. And we have Dangerous Game, restoring 5% of your missing health and mana. So this mastery is quite good. Next up we have Precision for armor and magic penetration, though it doesn't give you a lot. But if you have penetration on your runes and you're going for a penetration build, you may want to take this. But if you are spamming your abilities, you're a support, a mage, then you want to take the 5% extra cooldown reduction, which also increases your cap to 45%. Then we have our key masteries. The Surge Mastery is good for assassins, and also if you want to catch your enemies while having good damage output. Thunderlords is another great mastery. Basically it can be used on any champion, unless there is a more effective mastery for your particular champion. For example, someone like Caitlyn, she needs Fervor Battle instead of Thunderlords. And then we have Support Mastery. Your heals and shields are 10% stronger. This is really good on someone like Karma, Janna, Soraka, Morgana, etc. Then we get to Resolve tree, the defensive utility tree. The first line we have flat health regeneration. It is good on those champions that don't have a lot of resists, because if they do have a lot of resists, then you take Unyielding. So this master is good for tanks that stack resists. Next lineup we have extra movement speed. I like this one the most. Take 2 less damage from champions and monsters. Not super effective, but this is the second option if you do not need the extra movement speed. And then we have extra resist when you're near a tower. This one is the worst of these 3. So next we have Runic armor, shields, healing and regeneration, lifesteal, and you are stronger. So basically if you have lifesteal, spell vamp, a support that heals you or shields you, this mastery will help you. And then we have flat health. I almost never take this mastery because I find it quite useless. It's only good for early game, but again if you have lifesteal, spell vamp or a buffing support, you most likely want to take this mastery. Next we have Insight, reduces the cooldown summoner spells by 15%. So mostly this is good for supports, but you may take it if you want to spam your summoner spells more often. Then there's Preservance. This is really good on tanks and if you want to survive. Fearless is another good option for tanks, so depending on your playstyle and your champion, you take either increased regeneration or getting bonus resists. Next mastery is one of those that many people don't know which to choose from, but it's quite obviously which one you should get. Shiftness gives you tenacity and slow resist, so this is the best mastery to take because the next one gives you a little bit of armor and magic resist for each nearby enemy champion. If you are a tank, you already have lots of armor and magic resist. You do not need this mastery, so you just take the extra tenacity and slow resist. Besides, if you take this mastery, you can buy Ninja Tabby instead of Mercury Threads because you already have some tenacity from this mastery. Quite logical here. And then we have our key masteries. Grasp of the Undying. So this is like an offensive utility mastery. You deal more damage and you heal from it, but it's mostly effective if you're a tank. Courage of the Colossus is a really good mastery if you have some crowd control ability. And then we have Stoneborn Pact. Not only it gives you 5% total health, which is good for tanks, but also your crowd control abilities heal your allies. So for example, if you're playing Thresh, this is a really good mastery to take. I'll just show you an example. I have for passive supports master page that looks like this. So this is a pure passive support master page. Someone like Soraka or Janna, that's why I took the cookie, which I rarely take. But if you want to do damage and you're a support, you can opt, for example, for this master page. So yet again, this highly depends on what champion you are playing, what is your team composition, what is enemy team composition, and depending on your playstyle and your build path. So all these things should be taken into consideration before the game starts. So this wraps up my guide. If you found this guide helpful, leave a like, share, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. I am Blackborg, signing off. See ya!